Hey folks, this is Studio here, being joined by the Mandin, the Dandin, with Game 2 of TSM versus CLG EU. How you feeling about this, Dan?
Oh man, TSM just looked a lot stronger than I thought because the last couple of times I saw them play CLG EU, CLG EU did such a good job even without their full lineup. I think the last time they played, Snoopy wasn't available and they had to fill in, and they were able to beat TSM in a 2-1 best of 3. So I thought that now with Snoopy back on the team, they should have an even better showing. But no, definitely TSM controlled the early game. A very aggressive flash tower dive onto Maokai, picking up that early first blood, and the continually denying of Maokai in his jungle and denying of Froggen of his blue really just snowballed the game for TSM. And there was one point where, Trap was just shooting down that living artillery and shutting down Reggie. Had he not been shut down, had he been getting his blue buff, that would have been a dire situation for TSM. And they recognized that, and they were able to play the way they need to play to secure them that victory.
Just some great play really coming out from TSM. The focus was there. The focus was there. The idea was there that they wanted to go ahead, shut down Kog'Maw, shut down Maokai, and play to Karthus' strength. And that was just a great game coming out of solo mid. Now CLG EU, I wonder what they're going to do to turn that around, because they're not going to go for that same style of play. They're coming in with a plan this time.
Yeah, I mean, if Reggie's Karthus was that much of a problem, they may or may not ban his Karthus this game.
I don't know. I would not want to see Reggie's Karthus, but there's like 5 characters I wouldn't want to see Reggie play against me.
I think for the last 3 weeks, I've continually seen that Karthus coming up every single tournament that they've been playing in, and he has performed for the most part very well on Karthus. Always keeping his farm very high, as you saw. He was over 200 CS at 18 minutes. That's more than 100 CS every 10 minutes. And
that's a lot of farm.
That's a high benchmark for any type of champion. So he's definitely exceeding that benchmark, carrying his team on his shoulders, allowing Chaos to follow up with that carry. And really, like, every single lane won because of that Requiem.
And like that benchmark, by the way, it also matters that the first 2 minutes of the game there is no farm coming in for Karthus, though it's 100 or 200 CS in 18 minutes, and that gold advantage is just so much. But picks and bans have started actually. So let's see if we can't shift over to that, and we have nothing coming out quite yet for either team. We do have CLG on first ban. They're thinking of what they want to get rid of. There's so much they could choose
14 seconds. So like some bans you would want to see is either Nocturne. Oh wow, Kale. So Darius was that big of a problem. We saw a couple of times where Kale was such a problem for top lane when Nocturne dove in, and that shield allowed him to tank the tower for a super long time, essentially. And when they wanted to focus down Reggie, that Kale shield came off just in time. A lot of times you want to kill Karthus really quick and just back out, and they tried to, and that shield came up, and they just got fooled really hard.
I mean, the thing with Kayla is she wasn't making the big plays herself. She let everybody else on the team make those big plays. And then Nautilus and Ahri getting banned too. Karthus, still available. I wonder if that was actually a good decision.
So really, right now, Karthus, Nocturne, Ashe is still available. They're probably thinking, all right, Kreppel did a really good job on Kog'Maw last game. It was really our fault that we lost this game. So let's let him pick Kog'Maw again and just do the same type of work he did last game. Because as you saw mid-game, that living artillery just absolutely decimated Reggie for his health, taking him down to about 20% health several times without even engaging in battle.
If there had been a little bit more follow-up from CLG at that point in the game, a little bit more farm, they could have actually started taking fights with that. Get Reggie low, burst him down.
Yeah, they're definitely fighting, not too far behind despite the 15,000 gold disadvantage. And imagine if the gold had been leveled, TSM would have been in trouble.
Graves and Maokai coming out for TSM, 2 characters they used last game. If it worked, use it again. Why not?
Just a very, very good play. I think Maokai was on CLG EU's team. It was a Nocturne.
My mistake. Yeah, it was Nocturne for TSM. I mean, Maokai still a solid jungler. Nocturne not open, but I think they want to use Maokai's earlier ganks, which are a little bit stronger than Nocturne's.
Yeah, you look at Kog'Maw. He's really squishy mid lane, so it looks like they're going to look for that super hyper-aggressive gank mid lane as early as level 2 or 3. So Maokai's going to try and do a quick level 3 and just roam mid and just try and pick up a kill for Reggie. So, when you want to do that, you pick very aggressive AP champions mid. There's definitely a lot available, so let's see what he's going to pick up.
I feel Froggen will buy a little faster this time at the beginning of the game and not walk into the enemy team.
Yeah.
That start, by the way, just so strong for TSM.
It's actually, it wasn't too bad. It was that first blood on
Yeah, the first blood on
Maokai.
Maokai.
That
Like,
first
it
blood on
set it up.
Maokai allowed TSM to get Karthus to level 6 a lot earlier, and really that snowballed the game so hard for TSM.
And that was their plan, like, at the beginning of the game. Kill Maokai, deny him, shut him down. And that is a Blitzcrank just locked in. We're going to have some hooks coming out from X Special and
Oh,
Karthus,
man.
too. This is a scary pick, actually,
So
coming
we
from
have
TSM.
Karthus middle again and Maokai in the jungle. In terms of ganking mid, doesn't need to gank mid as hard because again, Snoopy is gonna want to run cleanse. The wall's not gonna affect him much. The twisted advance is gonna affect him as much. So really with Maokai and Karthus, they're looking for that bottom lane domination, that bottom lane gank, and really having Blitzcrank there, they're gonna be able to burst very, very hard. If a hook comes up and Maokai is there, they're basically gonna die to the burst from Graves and Karthus.
You're going to be locked down for so long, even with Blitzcrank Silence being part of the CC, because you can't flash while Silence. You actually had Orianna being selected for a second there, which would mean that Kog'Maw is being played as an AD, but they switched to Mundo. So let's see what comes out.
Like looking back at the ban, the reason why they banned Kale is because, you know, Wicked just had the Shen Kale matchup, and he was probably preemptively wanting to pick up Shen. So he's like, all right, I lost Kale last game. I don't want to deal with it again this game, so let's ban Kale because I want Shen this game as well.
And Shen has very few bad matchups. Kale was able to actually take quite a bit of advantage. Vladimir actually a great matchup for Shen, so not surprised to see Dyrus pick him. Dyrus also just a great Vladimir player himself. Loves just bullying with that Blood Vampire Mage. So we have two solid teams. I love the Blitzcrank pick, by the way. Going to make bot lane so aggressive. Just hook in that Yellow Pete, try and knock him up. I believe you can Valkyrie before the pull finishes and knock up happens. So going to be good for Yellow Pete to go Corki.
You know, we're looking at this team comp. It looks like TSM has a lot of AoE damage. Karthus AoE, Vlad AoE, Blitzcrank, it's got that hook knockup, but his ult is AoE as well. Same with Maokai, his sapling, his Q, and his ult. So lots of AoE damage overall. And it looks like if the gank goes off on bottom, the burst and damage is going to be able to kill them, even though the Shen ult is going to come down. So, you know, they did factor the Shen ult into this when they're looking to kill somebody. You know, they're thinking, what can I do to kill bottom lane when they have Shen, and kill him anyways, even though Shen ults him. So with that type of team comp, it's definitely going to be very, very good.
We'll be right back, actually, with the TSM versus CLG EU game, round 2.
So we are here in game 2, TSM versus CLG EU. TSM is in an advantage 1-0, and if they are going to win this, they're going to advance for it, and CLG EU is going to drop to the loser's bracket. All right, the ping does go off at the bottom by blue team. It looks like they're going to roam towards blue side and look for a pickoff. However, TSM is roaming to the other side, so they aren't going to meet.
And Blitzcrank, one of the best level 1 fighters in the entire game. CLG knows this. They're playing defensively. They don't want to get caught. They want actually X Special to walk into a bush and get bursted down immediately.
You know, the thought here is, you know, there is a Mundo on CLG EU, and usually when you have Mundo, you roam to the red side to counter that because Mundo would start over there. So if TSM's looking for a hook, they would go to the red side. So CLG EU is banking on TSM, thinking that, and they actually ward this tri-brush, hoping that they will go through here and getting that extra early gank, catching them out of position. So there's the ward set up here. They're really, really looking forward to this gank.
So 2 wards going down for both teams. The one for TSM going to be much more useful, actually. Going to have control over that jungle. They're going to know when Snoopy does race, when he goes towards red, and then that tri-ward bush is going to be nice for defensive, play, but nobody really ganks bottom all that much.
Yeah, so the bank was on that gank right here. Unfortunately, TSM did not go through it. So they do have that ward there for protection, though.
Reginald trying to steal the big Wraith. He does. Blue Wraith goes to Reginald. A huge
I just missed that.
So Reginald starting off actually very well. A lot of experience lost by Snoopy.
And like one strategy TSM and TSM Evo does is they like to ward the Wraith because they know there's going to come to a time where the enemy's going to want to do that Wraith, and especially if they start Wraith, they're going to start, if they start red, they're going to start on Wraith. So really having that ward there is going to allow you to last hit steal that big Wraith.
And of course, most junglers are based off sustained damage. We actually have Ignite coming down onto Dyrus. Wicked just blowing it right now just to try and, get an early advantage, set up the lane so he can do well.
So here's a common strategy by Wicked. He likes to go super aggressive in burning that Ignite as early as he can so he can shove people out of lane. However, it is actually working really well for him. So if Vlad goes back, he's going to lose some EXP, but he is also very low in hit points. So a little bit more aggression, Wicked should be able to start winning this lane.
I'd say he already has, actually. On the bot lane, fairly passive, X special chilling in a bush, but not too much aggression. Up top, just the taunts coming out from Wicked. That recent Shen change did give him a little bit of damage on that taunt, and that's actually just enough right now to make a huge difference.
Yeah, definitely. Dyrus has to play very safe here. There is a Mundo looking for a gank. If he's able to get behind and get the cleaver up, Dyrus is going to be a little bit in trouble.
Oh, there's the taunt.
He does have the Sanguine pull, so he's not in too much of a worry because any type of damage after that, he can actually just pull and back out. He's not really looking to pull, though, because he does lose a lot of health. So unless he sees the enemy jungle, he's not going to want to burn it.
And with the Ignite down, nothing can actually finish him off in there.
So right now the lane is pushed to Dyrus' side, and they're going to do some crazy jungle invade. They're able to do this because Dyrus is stuck at his tower to farm this. So this could be a 2v1 fight at the red.
The odd one does spot Wicked in the jungle.
This is going to be a 3v2 fight here because Dyrus is top. Froggen does come. Oh, the exhaust comes up. The taunt comes up. Reggie does get hit, and he does drop to CLG EU.
Little brother of Dan Din right here is the first blood in this game. CLG taking a nice little advantage right now and actually trying to take this red buff. The odd one just constantly hanging out there. He will have vision with a well-timed sapling, can try and smite steal.
So very good strategy by CLG EU right there. They know that it takes a little bit of time for Maokai jungle to actually reach top, get that red buff, and gank. So Shen knows he's relatively safe, so he can hyper-aggressively push that, forcing Dyrus to stay top lane. He's able to roam in the jungle and counter it.
Both teams really focusing on shutting down Maokai at the beginning of the game. A little more successful for TSM, but CLG still putting in work. Up in the top lane, we have a big creep wave coming in for Wicked. Lane is currently pushing back towards Dyrus. And right now, just the game kind of passive, just lots of farming going on. No one really wants to be aggressive, except the top lane. Well, Dyrus is there, so
yeah, literally that gold lead right now is mostly just that first blood. Reggie did die early, so he's not going to have that ult as early. He's not going to be able to have that same type of presence he did last game.
Oh, X special going for a hook. Nope, just going to back off. He does hook in Crepo, taking a lot of damage. There's the exhaust. Is the Ignite on him? No, not quite. The exhaust is on Chaos. Yellow Pete trying to finish him off, but he is blinded. X special chasing him down, and a lot of damage being exchanged in that bot lane.
Actually, the advantage does come out to TSM. The next hook, if it lands on anybody, they are going to be able to drop him. However, Mundo is very close. Oh, actually, Mundo's low, too, so he's actually just going to back out. So a well-timed hook, nice hookup or knockup is going to be able to pick up a kill. So they're going to look for that aggression on Soraka, because Soraka is significantly easier to kill than Corki right now.
CLG does have the heal, though, so they can try and bait that out, and there is no Ignite for Chaos anymore. He did use it that last fight. And actually, the Ignite for Wicked already back up, able to pressure Dyrus early on, but so far it looks like Dyrus is, turned into that normal Vladimir we all love and hate. Able to farm up quite a bit.
So Vladimir is actually, ooh, the hook barely misses. If it had hit, it would have actually put TSM in a better map position.
That hook always making such a nice little sound. Oh, every time I hear it, I just kind of jump a bit, just because it just scares me so much. Reginald not able to pressure Froggen quite as much this time. He does have his flash up. He can actually escape. So he's being defensive. Mundo coming out into the bot lane. He is not spotted, actually. We could have a successful gank coming in here for CLG. If X Special gets close to that bush, he will die.
It's very dangerous down here for TSM. Mundo is in there. There's no sight on him, so TSM gets a little too aggressive and the lane is pushing. And so if Mundo is able to at any point get behind them, they are going to have to burn summer spells or they're going to die.
You can just wait for X Special to land a hook, but of course Crepo could be bursted in that time. This is currently at the edge. One person being out of position can easily lead to a kill right now.
Basically, Graves has his flash and his dash up.
Oh, the hook lands on the Crepo. Snoop is going in. The Cleaver lands on the Chaos. He quick shots out of it, and it looks like we're going to have an escape from TSM. Unfortunately, not a lot of hard CC to keep people in place.
Like right there, the person to kill was actually special. Chaos recognizes that and tanks the first Cleaver, and he does have the quick shot after the Cleaver lands, so he's able to dash out of there. So I thought that first Cleaver tank was on purpose.
With quick draw, with flash, it's just going to be much easier for Chaos to actually get out of that fight. And a lot of time wasted by Mundo down there.
Yeah, still no ward on TSM, but after that gank, Mundo has invested too much time on bottom. He's going to want to look to go back to his jungle to farm. Right now, Chaos is actually losing a lot of health. The way Soraka works is as you fight over a long period of time, you start pulling an advantage because the heal is going to be more effective over time. So Chaos is going to need to look to go back. He wants to push this lane, go back and buy. The smoke bomb does go off. That is a cue that he's not looking to fight. He's just want to clear the wave as soon as possible and head back and buy.
Smoke bomb actually doing quite a bit of damage for us. More or less a utility nuke on an AD carry like that. It really scales quite well. Usually the second max skill just for that extra burst combo.
So it looks like TSM is going to both go back. No, actually Special is going to stay for the EXP. He doesn't really need a buy. He doesn't have a lot of items right now. So he's just going to farm this while Chaos is away.
He uses his ult just to push in the lane, just to make it so that when Chaos gets back in the lane, the creeps will be pushing back towards him. He won't miss out on that much CS.
Basically what happened is he saw that Corki wanted to go back, and as soon as Corki went back, he actually cancels his blue pill. He says, all right, Corki's going back. I can push this. I am at no threat because they can't really turn around on me because Soraka can't deal damage. So I'm just going to shove this to tower and hopefully deny some of that EXP as well.
And actually really beneficial for Chaos. He's going to get a little bit of CS and a little bit does get denied to Yellow Pink, the bot lane. And up top, Wicked, once again, just taunting onto Dyrus, trying to get any sort of damage he can. It's not working out too well at this point. It's just kind of shifted back into Vladimir's favor.
As soon as Vladimir gets that revolver, he's going to be able to sustain top indefinitely. And really, the good thing is since Vladimir does not have any type of CC, Wicked is going to be able to use his ult anytime he wants. He can just tank Dyrus and use his ult and escape, or he can just stand in front of him to save an enemy, and Dyrus isn't going to be able to do anything about it.
Once again, another taunt coming out. We actually have the Ignite coming out onto Dyrus again. He's just trying to apply pressure at this point. It's not about going for kills. It's just trying to make Dyrus feel unsafe.
Well, Dyrus is just going to heal right back up. That's not going to do really anything to him. So maybe like 10 seconds later, he will get the majority of his hit point back.
We have Snoopet actually spotting Chaos. They're hanging around Dragon, might be going ahead for it, just trying to start this gank. X Special caught up against the wall. He's actually out of position. Might Die going to try and flash over the wall.
He is silenced. He's not going to be able to flash. However, he is barely able to get. He backs right back in.
The banana kills him.
He could have actually just walked away, but he walks right back into the tri-bush, gets flashed over, and gets killed. There was absolutely no vision from Soraka, but he walks back to the other side of the brush and tanks that banana.
Was he actually spotted by... Oh, wait, we have Oddone starting to fight. Shen ult has been used. We have just a zoning trying to work, and the zone does work. We have TSM backing off of that fight. The Dragon does go to CLG. I think he might have been spotted by, actually, Froggen's ultimate. I was trying to avoid being hit again.
Oh.
Which is how
he walked back into that brush.
Crepo knew how to flash and actually banana him to death. Is there a phrase for it, like banana execution? Banana execution? Is that a word?
Not sure, but
it could be.
But and the actually, banana kill is not looking healthy.
Up in the top lane, Dyrus just pushing past the tower. He knew that Shen had ulted away, was not at risk of being hit by Wicked, just trying to get some extra CS and deny some more to Wicked up in the top lane. And we have a 1,300 gold advantage for CLG. Not as big as a difference last game, but this can grow. This can snowball.
Definitely Chaos is holding his own on bottom lane. If they're able to get a couple of kills here, they can actually just turn this around very quickly. There is the burst damage from Graves, from Blitzcrank, and Karthus, so if a good hook comes off, they can very well take down either Corki or Soraka.
What is going to be scary is that they have no sustain, and we do have a lot of poke just because of Corki. X Special zooming forward, just going to that next bush. Revealing his presence. I believe it's custom Blitzcrank, one of the best skins in the game. I love La Cucaracha when it plays. X Special getting poked a bit. Yellow P
Oh,
out
the
of
hook
position,
goes off
dodges
and
the hook.
misses.
Chaos taking a lot of damage in this trade, actually.
Oh,
Yellow
this
P
is not good.
immediately
They
healed.
need to back up. They're already half hit point. So the heal is off onto Yellow P. That means he's very tanky. Graves does not want to spam his ability when that shield is up.
The heal from Soraka is essentially the exact opposite of an armor shred. It more or less doubles your HP against armor attacks or physical attacks. And this is not looking good for TSM unless he can get a good hook off. They are going to go for it.
Oh, the hook goes off
blinded
and
and he
misses
dodges.
again.
So that was actually a great combination of skills. We had KX try to smoke screen Yellow Pete so he couldn't react to the hook, but he still dodged it. Just some good intuition right there, some game sense coming into play.
So we have a lot of dire pressure up top right here. He does finish his revolver, so he's going to be able to push against Shen, and definitely Shen really can't do anything to Darius because Darius naturally is going to be able to clear waves over and over, forcing Shen to farm
going
under
for a
tower.
dive. Wicked is ignited. He flashes. He taunts away. He has covered about 1,000 distance in half a second.
Oh, he's still
We
tanking
have
the
a
tower. Not
turnaround
a
from
good
Froggen.
idea.
His pull is up. He might just get away at the last second. Froggen might go for a flash and use his ult. Nope. Darius will get away with almost no HP, tanking that tower for a little too long. Here comes Snoop trying to finish him off. There's the flash. And Darius escapes a situation he should have never been in.
So basically, he ran out of tower range, or he thought he ran out of tower range, and he ran back in, and not knowing that the leash did not break, just fully tank the tower from about 80% health down to about 10% health. So just a little misjudgment on the range of that tower.
And because of that, he's going to have to go back and buy, and they're going to take a lot of pressure, use that on the top lane.
But definitely, as soon as he does get back, he is going to be able to lane against Shen very well. You know, he does have to watch out for the gank, but Vlad naturally just does very well against Shen, especially once he gets that Will of the Ancients.
And Vladimir with 360 move speed, no movement speed bonus actually for Vladimir, but just it's really hard to catch him. He can always blood pool the taunt. He can really get away quite easily if he's scared of a gank.
Yeah.
And any sort of pressure Shen does right now is just going to be healed away.
The thing with Shen is he has no real wave clear, and Vlad can just keep on spamming Tides of Blood, pushing the lane. If Shen wants to go up and farm, he'll get transfused and Tides of Blood as well. So the exchange is always positive for Vlad, and he's going to be able to push Shen to tower. So as long as it's well warded, he's going to be able to push and basically deny Shen a tower.
We actually have the Alwan going in for another gank. Not going to give any chance to Wicked. He walks into the bush. He gets knocked up. He is rooted. The Twist Advance lands. Darius trying to chase him down, just a little too slow though. And actually Alwan getting chased out of tower. Wicked trying to back up, taking a lot of damage, but not actually dying in the end. So he's actually in a bad position because Darius can just try and pressure him some more, take control of this lane, but the kill not successful.
So Wicked here with a Wit's End, that's going to give him a lot of MR. When he gets 4 stacks of his Wit Skin, he's going to have about 120 MR, and that's going to allow him to just lane a little bit better versus Vlad, but without actual healing besides the Vorpal Blade, Vlad is still going to be able to push
Reggie
against
taking
him.
a lot of damage in the mid, actually. He might just die to Froggen in his ultimate. Flashes towards him just to dodge an ult. Here comes a Shen ult. They're trying to take out Reginald. He does die in the mid lane. Another kill for CLG, 3-0. There's a Karthus ult. Will it be enough? Will it be enough? Froggen survives.
With about 100 hit point. Had he land one more lay waste, that actually would have finished Froggen off.
One more second of Defile, actually.
Oh, the hook does land on Corky. Exhaust goes off. Xpecial doesn't want to use his ultimate yet because he knows that if he did, it would not do enough damage, so he's just going to use it for the next rotation.
The ultimate from Blitzcrank, not actually a long cooldown, but incredibly mana intensive. And we actually have Snoopit being caught in the mid lane. The Alwan lands his Swiss Advance. Darius trying to finish him off too. Snoopit just obliterated there, actually.
It is actually very surprising. CLG EU is up 2 kills. However, the gold difference is absolutely minimal. TSM is definitely farming a lot better than CLG EU because they are up 2 kills with the first blood, and there's really no real difference in gold earned.
So the tower falling in the top lane brought that a little closer. And then just looking at Darius' CS versus Wicked, it's in his favor. That one taking so much damage, actually. Just getting hit by those Kog'Maw ultimates. There's a reason Froggen got denied so hard with that blue last game. No one let him have blue. This time he's got it, and he's just murdering people, actually.
You know, you're looking at the score. Reggie's at 140 CS versus 120. He's farming so well, not quite as well as last game because he doesn't have the advantage. And considering him dying twice 140 CS is actually very good at 15 minutes in.
Now the question is, what does CLG do now? They can try and just wait in the laning phase. It's actually not going that well for them. They're getting kills, but they're not getting a lot of farm. Do they start going for map objectives? Do they start trying to invade? Baron's still a long ways off unless they get an ace at this point.
Yeah, what the both teams is looking to do is they're both looking to secure objectives like this dragon that is spawning right now. They know that this is a free dragon to see Darius up top. TSM also recognizes that as a free dragon because you know, Vlad is up top. So they're just going to go back and they're just going to farm and really minimize the disadvantage and just try and push as much as they can in the meantime.
If the enemy can take an objective and you can't stop them or try and go for a steal, don't risk it. There's no point.
Yeah,
and
so
TSM knew that.
Darius is going to push this really quick, and he's going to go back and try and find safety. And really, that is going to collide to tower and deny about a couple hundred gold, so the advantage isn't as big.
So the goal difference now about 1,700. Like you said, that's actually a pretty close difference for this point in the game. Only 17 minutes in the game. This game's really equal, looking a little bit in favor of CLG, but who knows what could happen.
You know, it only takes a couple of good team fights, and really, since TSM has a lot of AoE damage, if they are able to group up and land it all and chain it well, you know, they can start winning team fights. You know, keep in mind, CLG does have a little bit too, but Shen just doesn't do a lot of damage. He's more of a tanky. If he's able to protect Kog'Maw, able to protect Corki, then they can start winning team fights. So it's really just going to come down to who is going to get in better position and who's going to team fight better as well.
And that could easily come down to Blitzcrank hooks, actually. X Special going to be able to change any sort of positioning if you can land that really hard to land Q from Blitzcrank.
Exactly. You land your hook on a key target, they're basically going to be stuck in place because he can knock them up with his power phase. Twisted advance on by Maokai, and then he can get knocked up again by the Q on Maokai.
So overall, this game is still totally up in the air. I want to see what TSM actually starts doing to try and maybe come back from this slight disadvantage. They could just go for some more laning. It seems to be working. They could start going for objectives. The Dragon is down. I don't think they feel confident enough to contest in the Dragon in the jungle.
So right now, this game is going to be carried by Darius if it's going to get carried at all. Darius is doing so much work against Wicked up top, zoning and denying him. I'm surprised. Usually it's Wicked that wins versus Darius, but this game and last game, Darius has been doing such a great job in terms of managing and containing Wicked.
The Shen pick hasn't been too solid these games. He's done some effective plays, but we actually have the other one trying to gank him, and we just have a lot of aggression coming out from TSM against him. It has not just been in his favor with the Kale pick and also the Vladimir pick.
So Vladimir is getting really farm right now. He's at 1,600 gold. He can go back and start working on, he can finish his Will of Ancients, as a matter of fact, and start building another Power Rod.
He can even rush a Death Cap. He was feeling quite advantageous, but most likely not going to happen. Wards going out across the map. CLG trying to keep good vision. Both sides actually just have a lot of vision on each other's jungles.
All right, now let's look at bottom. There's a little bit of Graves and Corki here. Their CS is almost completely even. Corki is 168 to 168, actually, completely even. Oh, he's going to actually try and stop him from backing.
A lot of pressure just coming out in the bot lane. The tower is down for CLG, so this actually is a chance for Yellow P to get some farm if he freezes the lane at his tower. Actually, Darius taking a lot of damage in the top lane, flashes out of there, takes the Ignite. Wicked just burning his Ignite. Unfortunately, Darius can either heal, he actually can sustain very quickly back in this lane.
Darius can heal back up pretty well. He has a lot of gold that he hasn't spent. That is why Shen is starting to make a comeback. Shen also has a lot of items too, but you give it a couple of minutes, Vlad will be full at hit point. And since Wicked is pushing, Maokai sees this, and he's going to want to come up there too. If they're going to gank Shen, it's probably going to be a lot easier than other lanes because Shen will be able to save them. So you're going to see a lot more aggression up top from Maokai and Karthus. And
it's important to keep Shen down because if Shen is weak, and if they can keep Snoopah down too, there's going to be no front line for CLG. And without that front line, Kog'Maw becomes weaker, Corki becomes weaker, and
so they actually see Shen in that brush still, and Maokai is just going to sneak in there. He is going to get too, if he does get too close to, the time, he's not going to have that to run away.
With advanced lands, the ult is on the Wicked. He's trying to get out of there. There's the Karthus ult. He will try and survive with Feint. No, he does die in the end.
Yeah, that damage from Karthus and Vladimir both popped at the same time. And luckily for Vladimir, that ultimate from Karthus does pop first, so he does pick up the kill.
And once again, blue buff on Reginald. That ult going to be up only in, let's see, about 2 minutes rather than the normal about, I'd say, 3 minutes.
So it's about 20% cooldown, so.
Yeah. So about 1 minute or 2 minutes and a half. So that's extra time that they would not have to use. And now actually is a good time for CLG to wait for Wicked to respawn.
Oh man, CLG Yellow Pete just chunking Chaos so hard right now. That's just goes to show when it is a 2v1, you gotta be very careful. Chaos is gonna stay in here. He's gonna want to farm a little bit, but he gets too aggressive and gets hits once or twice more. Yellow Pete's gonna be able to dive this.
If X Special goes for a hook, this could actually be the death of Chaos. I'm gonna guess he's gonna be passive just because of that. Yeah. Chaos way in the back, doesn't even want to get close to any of the bushes.
So Chaos does have a Vamp Scepter, 2 D-Blade, so 1 or 2 creeps waves later, he's going to be able to auto-attack, basically back up to full hit point. As you see, he is healing about 30 to 40 hit point per hit, so it is going to be going up pretty quickly.
That was about, what, 8 auto attacks in that wave, so 300 HP coming right back to him. He's just going to retreat at this point and play the game safe. No reason to take any big risks right now.
Yeah, looking at the gold count again is back to very minimal amount, only 700 gold. You know, really, the gold difference is one tower. If TSM is able to take down one more tower, the gold difference will be completely nullified. So both teams right now just still looking for that global objective. TSM's definitely farming a lot better, but you know, CLG EU is taking up every single objective.
Deathcap finished on to Dyrus, actually, going for a much more aggressive build, not caring about the sustain. He feels confident he can actually land against Wicked as is, which so far it looks like he can.
The thing is CLG EU does not have a lot of sustained DPS. They're really just looking for Corki to be able to kill Vlad, so he's not afraid of getting focused down. They're the pokey type, so Vladimir is going to be able to get in there and just keep on doing damage over and over. So going that early death cap is actually pretty beneficial. As soon as he finishes, the time goes over and misses on Darius, and they're just going to both back out.
The aggression coming out from CLG right now, they're more across the map. Dragon has respawned. They've been pretty good about the Dragons. They might be going for this one more time. Special in a bush, waiting to try and get a hook off.
So this is going to be the first time all 5 players out at Dragon. So depending on how this fight goes, is going to basically set the tone for the rest of the team fight. You know, whoever wins this team fight is going to have a clear advantage in the game.
Short of a double ace, which would be pretty cool. You have a Kog'Maw, can happen.
You know, the game is still very close. Only 500 gold. In terms of team fighting, both teams has the potential of just blowing each other up. So it looks like TSM is just going to ignore all the dragons this game. Really just completely blinded. You look at the ward placement. There's a pink ward here clearing out all wards. A ward here giving him an early warning that they're showing up, and just 2 wards here with a pink ward as well. So CLG definitely really wants that dragon, positioning all the ward to completely not allow TSM to get in there.
And of course, TSM, they want to play it safe. They realize that, okay, we could try and contest the dragon. I don't want them to have that 1,000 gold. But at the same time, they're going to be going into a bush, not being able to take advantage of Blitzcrank. And they'll be out of position if they're caught at the wrong spot.
And really, you know, TSM has a very strong late game comp, so they don't need to risk fighting Dragon and giving up that advantage. As you can see, that's the 3rd Dragon. However, in the gold is only about 1,400 difference. So that just goes to show, even though CLG is able to pick up that Dragon, TSM can hold their own through it.
Both teams actually with a great late game. We're going to see a longer game just because neither team needs to win the game quickly.
Yeah.
AP Kog'Maw, Corki, not exactly weak characters late in the game.
So there is a lot of aggression going here. You know, a lot of damage. There's not enough wave clear right now. Vlad is too far. He is coming back in, but he's kind of low. So in terms of defending this tower, it looks like TSM is going to have to let it drop.
He was trying to sustain, but ended up taking more damage from actually Froggen's ult right there. Just landing those Kog'Maw.
It's either a hook lands within the next 10 seconds and them giving somebody, or else they're going to have to back out and give up the tower. Otherwise, if CLG keeps on pushing and keeps on poking their hit point down, they're going to take a second tower too. So this is the point where you either make something happen or you let it go.
You make the play or you back off. Don't be indecisive. They're trying to make the play happen. So it takes a lot of damage trying to go in there.
CLG EU definitely poking very well right now. It looks like TSM's going to let it drop. However, it is a little too late. CLG EU might be able to pick up that tower and the blue buff and potentially poke down the next tower as well.
So it looks like we're just going to have this tower go down. And they're going to try and chunk, as you said, but what can TSM really do? If they try and go ahead and play that, you know, defend the tower against a poke composition game, they have no sustain to defend against it. They need to make plays happen.
So once Froggen gets his blue buff, TSM's going to get hurt really bad. Oh my god, one more hit, and he does pick up that blue buff.
So finally, the blue buff for Reginald actually getting denied. We do have TSM heading towards Dragon, though. They don't have an Oracles, but they do have map control. There are no wards here for CLG. It looks like they're going to try and catch him in a bush, but of course Kog'Maw reveals quite often, quite a bit. Xpecial tries to land the hook, it misses Yellow Pete by a hair, and some damage is going to come out in response now that Yellow Pete knows he's safe.
But CLG is just doing so well this poke comp.
Oh,
the twisted advance does go off with the flash while the TA is still on. He is going to get hit.
Yellow Pete's exhausted. Taking a lot of damage.
So much damage. He is going to back out. Reggie going in. He's going to want to die in the middle of it. The ult does come off. Corki drops.
Only 1 kill for TSM right now.
One more hit, and Dyrus is going to drop. Kreppel really wanted that kill.
In there, gets a kill on Kreppel.
Way too aggressive. Going into Chaos, it does drop. That is a 2-for-1 kill advantage for TSM.
So not a huge difference. The gold difference only 1,300. That's one of the dragons. They might be able to actually pick up this mid tower right now. Looks like they're just going to head top, try and get that inner tower, or just maybe even go for straight for Baron, actually.
There is absolutely no ward on COG, so this is going to be a free dragon by TSM. And keep in mind, Odd One has that passive that's going to be able to heal him. Even though Mundo walking in is not going to be able to stop it. So what they're looking to do is they're just going to look to either outspite or zone Mundo. If it's going to take too long, the other team will catch up, and this is going to look very bad for TSM. So you either commit or you...
3,000 HP, the root's on the Snoop, they're just going to burst him down. I mean, give him a chance. He is dead. Here comes Wicked trying to do something. TSM is so low, X Special almost dead. Will die the AoE. Wicked going in himself now. Actually being bursted down. The Baron is on TSM. Here comes Froggen to play cleanup, though. X Special going to go down. The chase is on to Odd One. He has blue buff. He will be able to kill Odd One if he can't dodge those ults. Quadra kill for Froggen.
Oh, that is absolutely amazing play by CLG EU. A Baron for a Quadra right about even up in there. In terms of gold earned, there was really no change right there.
But all that gold just went to Froggen.
Yes, right now Froggen is going to be an absolute monster. He has his Rylai's, his Archangel. He's going to be able to pick up a Death Cap very soon. And
Reginald actually could go down here. We have Froggen actually going into tower range, trying to land any bit of poke he can. That is just how strong AP Kog'Maw is. Able to pressure Reginald from his own tower.
Definitely right there. You know, Froggen did pick up about 12 to 1,400 gold. When he does come back, he's going to be able to put out a lot more damage. He's going to have that giant rod soon, and that's going to be a lot of pain.
So let's not forget, though, 2 people did die trying to delay TSM, and it was enough. They did actually get Baron, so it was 2 kills and Baron for a Quadra on Froggen, which is actually, I'd say, a pretty equal trade. The only problem is Reginald still has that Baron buff. He can still do quite a bit of damage with it, and his Death Cap should be finished pretty quickly. Only about 100 or 200 gold off.
There was definitely about no advantage in terms of gold gain for that Baron and that Quadra, but really, you know, you're putting gold onto Froggen. If Froggen doesn't die, he's just going to contribute so much more. He is 4-0, and really, if it keeps up this way, Froggen is going to absolutely dominate.
The front line is strong for TSM. They should be able to keep protected, and if they can, they might be able to take this game. They're 1,000 gold difference, though.
Right now, Froggen isn't building any more tanky, so if he's going to go more damage and he dies really quickly, it's an easy way for him to lose the game. So right now, it's going to hinge on Froggen not dying because all the gold on his team is being donated to him right now. Or actually not donated, he's just picking it up.
We do have a lot of farm onto Yellow Pete, but it's not the same as that Quadra that Froggen just got, which, by the way, he was 0-0-4 before that.
You know, you look at the gold count right now. Froggen's got 10,000 gold. The second highest in the game is 9,800 on to Vladimir. So both those guys are going to be contributing a huge amount. And the next highest on Froggen's team is only 8,000. So he's significantly stronger than everybody else on his team. So in terms of playing the matchup right, it's going to be in Froggen's hand if CLG is going to win this game.
And how do you play as TSM right now? You need to get close. You need to actually get into range of Froggen.
You're going to want that twisted advance on key targets, either Kog'Maw or Corki, and you need to take them down. And landing a hook on Kog'Maw or Corki will definitely help that as well. However, there is a Banshee's Veil off on Corki, so it's going to be significantly harder.
You cannot twisted advance, and you cannot hook him. I think that's what that Banshee's really was for.
Yeah,
no more hooks.
You know, you look at Froggen, he does have a cleanse. Corki does have a Banshee's Veil, so, you know, it's going to be hard locking down either of those 2 champions.
It looks like top tower might go down for TSM. We have Reginald in the bot lane trying to push that, actually. So we actually could have not quite a base race, but just some towers being traded. Reginald just clearing this wave, actually going to retreat, make sure he doesn't try to get into a push war against 4 people.
So it looks like Chaos is still down bottom. They're going to try and take this tower. They're going to swap Chaos pushing bottom, Reggie defending base. This is a better way of adding pressure and defending at the same time. They're going to both take out the second tower. One down bottom, one up top. However, Shen is going to go back to base. Very good choice because he does have a global ultimate. So the next fight, if they do engage, it's going to be a 5v4 after tower. And really, Dyrus is getting poked really hard. If Chaos doesn't go back, this is going to look very bad for TSM because CLG just has such a huge advantage right now. 5v4 or 5 pressure presence, even though there's only 4 bodies.
And he can't actually go back right now. Shen's currently just taunting on him, making sure he stays in that fight. Actually, he's going on to Chaos right now. He's going to kill him. Wicked actually going really low himself.
Oh, one more.
Flashes away.
Chaos
It's not enough.
Shen, flashing away from the last auto attack that would have killed him. And this is actually going to put TSM in the advantage because that would put TSM in a 4v4.
Actually trying to engage.
They're actually just chasing them out. They don't really want to engage with it because that's going to allow Chaos to push and take down this base down bottom here. So what TSM's looking to do is they just want to stop CLG from going back. They don't want to really fight. So very good play by TSM right here. Mundo is actually able to actually make it back to base. Chaos is going to back out, and right now the chase is on. They want to find this, and they want to fight this, because Vladimir is getting really close as well.
Odd One is closing in on Froggen. He is a little faster than him, but he's going to back off. Did not feel safe. Chaos is doing Golems actually, as Steamboat walks right on by him. Not actually getting vision of the little pit.
Very good play by Chaos. He was basically one hit from dead, and he flashes the last auto attack, forcing Shen to close that distance and really allowing him to get a couple of auto attacks off as he was closing it and taking the kill. Just a really good bait by Chaos.
The damage coming out of Shen was just not enough. He was tanky. He did survive for quite a while and got him low. Chaos actually getting interrupted in the bush. He might actually get caught by Snoopit. Quick draws out of the danger. Should be safe. And right now, I got to say, that was a great play from TSM.
Chaos right now has 2,900 gold. That's a lot of gold. He's going to be able to pick up a PD and start building into his BT as well. So Chaos definitely going to be a lot more damaging with that PD.
Phantom Dancer, one of the biggest items in the game to pick up as a carry after Infinity Edge, just because of the way that damage scaling works on AD carries.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, the gold level is almost completely even. Only 400 gold. Just it doesn't even matter this late in the game. That's not even a kill. And so very even. Whoever gets a good team fight next time around is going to have a clear advantage. They're going to start taking towers from that and really pushing right now. It's going to be hard. So what TSM needs to do is they're going to need to get that pick, because you don't want to push against a Kog'Maw and have him poke at you all day.
And we're just going to see very defensive play coming out from both teams. TSM, of course, going to try and stay pushed out. They don't want to get into a push war against Froggen. And if either team is out of place, we're going to see the other team just try and abuse that with Kog'Maw ults, with twisted advances. At this point, one pick could determine the game.
Yeah, one good team fight, and one team can definitely turn the tides heavily in one way or the other.
Baron is actually coming up soon, so that's going to be a pretty big point of interest.
Yeah, they're going to definitely want to contest this Baron. So whoever picks up this Baron is going to get a lot of potential to push on the enemy team too. So what TSM's looking to do is they're going to want to pick this. Oh, the Maokai's going to come in. He does twist advance onto Froggen.
Chaos takes a lot of damage. And we actually have the fight starting. It's not good for TSM. Reginald was low beforehand. Dyrus in the middle of the enemy team, though, trying to do his damage. Reginald trying to die in a good position in the enemy team. Wicked ulting to save Yellow Pete. Reginald does die. His ult is down, though. We have Odd One in the enemy team trying to chase down Froggen. They're currently just fighting man-to-man. They need to actually try and disengage this. Okay, the fight has ended. Bad for TSM, though, in the end.
Reggie dropping, everybody on CLG very low. At any point, it could have been an easy 1-1, or it's just so even across the board. Reggie not being able to die in the enemy team, so so close. Either team could have walked away from that fight ahead.
We're going to actually have attempted hooks coming out for TSM to try and interrupt this Baron. CLG trying to position to avoid this. They know one good hook could actually just switch it in favor. We actually have Froggen taking out Dyrus. Not looking good for TSM right now. They're trying to chase him down. The slow's onto him, but we actually have a chase going on to the rest of TSM. They're just grouped up together. Some good AoE might be enough. The Reverie pops out. They're trying to escape. A sapling lands, and it looks like TSM will disengage.
This could be very bad for CLG. Reggie is rezzing in 3 seconds. His Requiem is going to be up in about 15 or 20 seconds. And as he rezzes, he's going to be able to use that. And 3 seconds, actually.
Soraka just came back up, though.
A couple of more hits. Well, the thing is
Soraka won't heal for as much,
it
right?
won't heal for as much as a Requiem. So if they're able to land the hook on anybody, they're going to be able to burst him down.
It looks like both teams just backing up, though. A good play for CLG. They didn't get Baron, though. They did eventually go for the chase and try to play safer, which was good.
They definitely did pick up 2 kills for nothing there and extend the gold lead to 1,000 gold. However, 1,000 gold is absolutely nothing in this game, and it's just basically just closed right there with that tower kill. 600 gold only now.
And that fight, by the way, started with Reginald just getting poked down by Froggen. That's just been the bane of Reggie this game. Every time Froggen just makes that sound, opens up his mouth, he takes so much damage.
Yeah, what Froggen wants to do is he wants to poke TSM as much as he can, and he has the ability to do that with that quadra kill earlier. He just got so far from it. So with that poke, at any time if TSM engages at about half hit point, they're going to have an advantage in terms of team fighting. So what TSM needs to do is they need to be able to engage really quickly, really swiftly before they do get poked down.
And actually, it looks like we have a Reverie coming out for Karthus. He does have a Kindle Gem as well as the Regrowth Pendant.
What Reggie is looking to do is he wants to have that Reverie so he can get in between the enemy, and basically that will allow him to die where he needs to die and output as much damage as he can.
A smart choice from him. Once again, item build, not static. I do not see any spell vamp from him, and that really helped him last game, though. He's trying to rely on Dyrus' Woda, though.
You know, they can very well go a double Woda after the Shirelius too, but right now he's just looking to close that distance, closing it onto Froggen. That will actually help his entire team too. So, and really getting that CDR from the Kindle Gem will allow him to lay down more late waste.
The Woda would help him solve the problem of Froggen, but the Reverie would help him win the game. And right now, ping's going on to Baron. Both teams are really scared to fight, but they want to go for this Baron. They want to go for this
So this is a ward down here. What they want to do is they want someone that's squishy to come kill that ward so they can potentially hook it.
We don't actually have the oracles for CLG near that ward. They're going for the ward near Baron, actually. So Chaos heading from Dragon back up to his team.
Definitely a lot of poke overall. It looks like Chaos is heading down to Dragon. He could probably soul it by himself. However, it is still dangerous. So because he knows
confident.
Reggie isn't there. You know, because if he does it and they have a ward and they're able to catch him, they can very well lose him the game. He's going to do it anyways because he is doing so much damage. He's critting 690, 680, and he's probably going to be able to take this down without losing any health. So just free gold for TSM right here.
He saw TSM in that mid lane. They don't really have great ward coverage, but there is a ward that should spot them if they did go for that gank on him.
So
he was relatively safe.
There is going to be a huge wave build-up down bottom lane. What CLG EU wants to do is they want to send Shen to block that so it doesn't hit the tower, because that should be able to take out the tower if it does reach it. So this is going to be an opportunity for TSM if they're going to be able to get in position fast enough, because it doesn't look like Wicked is going down there yet.
Only 1,000 HP on that tower because of the split push that worked for TSM earlier on in the game. And the question is, what do they do now? It looks like before it would have been use a Blitzcrank hook. Now they're trying to find a way to actually deal with that poke and get into a good fight. Reverie finished onto Reginald.
Yeah, he's definitely looking for that wall onto Froggen, forcing that early cleanse so Malachi can actually root him after. And with the double Reverie, they should be able to close a lot of distance. And keep in mind, Malachi does have a Fawn too, so he's moving very fast.
Oh, we actually have a fight going on the Yellow Peak. Chaos trying to burst him down with Reginald. The L1 actually can catch him out here. The Shen going all on. Chaos has been turned around on though. The L1 caught a position. Another one person dying for TSM. L1 is down. It's now a chase on the 3 people. Reverie pops out from Reginald. They're going to try and chase him down, but he should be able to get away.
Definitely not a good idea. He flashed over the wall without knowing where all of COG is, flashes into 5 of them, eats an exhaust, and they're able to just turn around and kill him instantly.
And now Baron is an objective they can take. The smite isn't up for TSM. They can hook, but Dyrus is taking so much damage in the mid lane. It's just not going to be safe for TSM to really do anything.
Oh, this is so dangerous for TSM. It looks like they're not going to even contest it. Their only way of stopping is for Reggie to just get in the middle of it and die and potentially steal it and or kill somebody. But, you know, at this point, he's just going to wait for his ally to res and defend the next onslaught.
A huge pickup for CLG. They're only ahead by 2.8k gold. That's not a lot of gold, but they have Baron buff. They can take control of the map. We do have Odd One and Chaos respawning, so they will be around for defense. But you know who's really good on the offensive at a tower? CLG with that Froggen.
Yeah, definitely. With that Baron buff, he's going to get a lot more mana regen as well. So his poke is just going to be a lot more strong.
Reginald trying to do something. They do have the wall down. They do have some decent wave clear on TSM. A lot of late wave spam can help them, but of course, you got to watch out for Froggen poking you down as that happens.
Yeah, definitely. Reggie is definitely looking for that revolver so he can regen a lot more from that poke.
Chaos taking so much damage. Once it's just, you see it for half a second, you hear the fireworks come out. 2 seconds later, someone is half dead.
Yeah, man, he's hitting so hard right now. He's almost maxed out. He's 1 item away from being full item. Really, it doesn't matter where he gets as that last item. He's just, if he's getting focused, he can get a GA, but it looks like he's surviving every single team fight.
7-0-5.
He can just potentially get more damage, but there is still that risk. If he dies, his team is going to lose.
We do have a chase, actually. Reginald getting caught out of position. Tried to flank him, did not work. His ult will come out. He's not in a great position to do damage, though. Odd One taking a lot. Dyrus tried to kill Froggen, trying to go on to him. We have a really odd split from TSM. They're not in a good position. Dyrus should die in this exchange, actually. Chaos taking out Wicked, though.
Oh, he
trying to reconvene.
The
hook
very
saved
low.
Oh, no, Dyrus does go down. Froggen is low. Odd1 will die. Chaos trying to do his work, but Snoopus should be able to protect Froggen in the end. Chaos looks like he will die. This should be an ace for CLG.
Oh man, that fight is definitely not good. Reggie tried to get in the middle of everybody, however he got silenced and slowed, not able to just die where he needs to die, so he's unable to just do damage after he drops.
And honestly, without Reginald in a good position, that just long, kitey fight actually in the jungle where everybody went everywhere more or less, Wicked dying in that chase.
Right now it's just getting so late in the game, both teams just doing so much damage. One more fight, whoever loses the next fight, or if TSM loses the next fight, they can very well lose their base. So this is just very, very finely balanced between
We actually have this tower being pressured by CLG. Reginald has just respawned, but he can't actually defend against Froggen. This could be the end of the game. Reginald dying instantly, just being melted down by Froggen. We're currently killing the last Nexus tower of the game. It's 3 seconds until Odd1 is up. X Special is up. We're going to have a retreat from CLG. They're not going to try and finish the game.
Man, that damage on Froggen is just absolutely huge right now. His W does so much damage, and his R. So, oh my God, it's disgusting. He's doing 7 or 13 damage, or 13% damage per hit on his auto attack. So, you know, he's not really an auto attacker, but with that AP, it is scaling it. His Bao Arcane Barrage.
He has so much AP, he's becoming an AD carry.
Exactly. I mean, oh my God, it's disgusting how much damage Froggen is doing, and he's 11-0-7, definitely carrying CLG very hard right now.
I would not be surprised to see not a Froggen ban. That'd be a really good ban. A Kog'Maw ban in this next game.
So right now he gets a Lich ban. That means every single auto attack he does is going to do so much from 831 AP. That means his auto attack is going to do an additional 831 damage.
With that Baron buff, he will do about 1,000 damage on an auto attack. That's insane. He's an AP character, and he's going to have 700 range.
He's going to have 700 plus range with the living or the Bio Arcane Barrage. What's going to do 13% extra damage, and then you put his base damage on top of that. Is just so huge right now.
Dyrus will take about 1,500 damage from one Froggen attack. This isn't just AP Kog'Maw. This is Froggen Kog'Maw.
So right now, Froggen is max item. There's nothing left that he can get. So really, right now, if they can't end the game and they let this game stall on for another, say, 10 minutes, you know, Froggen isn't going to be as strong because the TSM is going to start catching up in items. So what they want to do is they want to start pressuring and extending this advantage because they do have a naked Nexus.
We have Snoopus actually walking into the enemy team. He's not the person you want to catch, though. Reginald trying to get in position. He just gets poked down before the fight even starts. Already at half HP, Snoopus trying to finish him off. The fight is under the Odd1, though. We do have Crepo being taken down by X Special and Chaos. The fight is kind of everywhere. Not in a good position for Reginald. The ult comes out, does not finish anybody off. Wicked does die. Odd1 is low. We have just people all across. Froggen poking down Reginald. There's in the enemy team. Reginald not dying in a good spot. And it looks like Froggen's just going to try and clean up. Chaos trying to clean up himself, too. He fights Yellow Pete 1 versus 1. Yellow Pete barely survives. Ignite kills him. And this is a 2-for-2 exchange. Froggen is still alive, though he's a scary person. He can still kill the Odd1. Odd1 is slowed by the Rylai's. He will die. Froggen is legendary. This is a naked Nexus, but we do have Dyrus up, but there is so much damage coming out from Froggen.
This is a 2v1. He will get silenced by Soraka, so it doesn't even matter. Oh, doing so much damage on Dyrus, and he is unable to use his pull because of the silence, and this does look like it will be a game. There's no way Froggen cannot take this in 19 seconds.
Good game, CLG. Froggen, 16-0-7. My God. That was a beautiful AP Kog'Maw. I mean, the fights just did not work for TSM. They went for a few silly exchanges. That dive onto Yellow Pete in the jungle just was not what they needed.
It was such a close game all the way through. The turning point of that game was that quadra kill on Baron. It just allowed Froggen just so much more gold, so much more damage, and it just really put him in position to carry the rest of the game. Because if you look at his kill before that, he was only at 4 kills. The moment he got bumped up to 8, his damage just went through the roof.
And just some great play from CLG too. They protected Froggen. He did try. People did try and dive on him.
So before we go into commercial break, I just want to give a quick shout out to SoloMid.net. Come visit SoloMid.net for guides from TSM, TSM Evo, and many other pros. We will be releasing version 5 of our site with a lot of stats and tools. So come check it out, and we're going to go to commercial break.
Get hyped for MLG Anaheim.